Commander Ryan stood on the rocky surface of Velora 9, staring at the horizon. The sky was painted in deep shades of red and orange. Strange clouds swirled above jagged mountains, and rivers of silver light ran through the valleys. His heart beat faster. This planet was mysterious and dangerous, but it promised discoveries no human had ever seen before. Behind him, his team was busy preparing their equipment. Mara, the geologist, checked the sensors on her suit. Len, the engineer, adjusted the landing modules. Tala, the linguist, examined strange symbols carved into the rocks nearby. The team had trained for years for this mission, but nothing could prepare them for the real Velora 9. Each step forward filled them with excitement and a little fear. Ryan led them across a barren plain. The sand was rough under their boots, and occasional tremors shook the ground. The energy readings they were following pointed toward a canyon to the west. Legends spoke of a lost civilization on Velora 9, a civilization that had hidden its treasures in deep underground chambers. Many explorers had tried to find these places, but none had returned. Ryan knew the risk, yet his curiosity and human courage pushed him forward. After hours of walking, they reached the entrance. It was a small opening in the side of a cliff, almost invisible against the red rocks. A faint glow came from inside. Ryan signaled the team to prepare their lights and scanners. The cavern smelled of minerals and something metallic that made his stomach tighten. The tunnel was narrow at first. The walls were lined with crystals that shimmered in the artificial light of their suits. Strange symbols covered the stone. Tala studied them closely. "These symbols are old, older than any human records," she said quietly. "They tell a story, but I cannot fully read it." She pointed to spirals and lines that glowed faintly. The tunnel suddenly opened into a vast chamber. The humans froze. The walls were covered with hundreds of glowing red jewels. Each jewel pulsed with a soft light, like a heartbeat. The chamber was alive with color and energy. It was beautiful, but also intimidating. The light reflected off the walls, creating patterns that danced like fire. Mara stepped closer, scanning the jewels. "These are not ordinary stones. They are energy sources. Look at how they vibrate. There is something powerful inside them." Ryan walked to the center of the chamber. A black stone pedestal stood there, holding a single large jewel. It was perfectly shaped, shining brighter than the others. He felt drawn to it. The jewel seemed to call to him. "Be careful," Len warned. "We don't know what it can do." Ryan nodded but reached out anyway. The moment his hand touched the jewel, a wave of energy passed through him. His vision blurred. It was as if the chamber itself was alive. The jewel's pulse grew stronger, echoing in his mind. He felt connected to something far larger than himself. Tala gasped. "They react to you. I think they respond to whoever touches them." Ryan pulled his hand back. He tried to steady his racing heart. The team approached carefully, observing the glowing jewels. It became clear that these stones were not just decoration. They were powerful, ancient tools, perhaps even capable of controlling life itself. A faint glow appeared at the far end of the chamber. Figures emerged from the shadows. They were humanoid, but taller, with long limbs and glowing eyes. The humans froze. These were the guardians of the chamber, left behind to protect the jewels. "You should not be here," one said. His voice echoed through the cavern. "The jewels are not for taking. They hold the life of this planet." Ryan stepped forward. "We do not want to take them. We only want to understand. We wish to learn, not destroy." The guardian studied him. "Humans are curious, but curiosity can be dangerous. If you want to continue, you must prove your worth." The team exchanged looks. They had expected to find treasures, not face a test. Yet Ryan felt a spark of determination. Humans were brave, clever, and persistent. They had faced the unknown before and survived. They would do it again. The guardians moved aside, and the symbols on the walls glowed brighter. Pathways appeared, leading deeper into the chamber. The humans realized that the jewels were a test. They were a gateway to knowledge and power, not just treasure. Ryan took a deep breath. We will do what is necessary. We will prove ourselves. The humans moved forward, their steps cautious but determined. Each jewel's pulse seemed to guide them, lighting their path. The air was filled with a soft hum, as if the chamber itself was alive and watching. As they explored, Ryan felt something he had never felt before. It was awe, but also responsibility. The jewels were powerful, yes, but they were part of the planet. Taking them without understanding would be wrong. Humans had always survived by learning, adapting, and working together. That knowledge gave them strength. The chamber was vast, and the walls seemed to stretch endlessly. Ryan looked around, seeing the jewels shimmer like thousands of tiny hearts. Each pulse told a story of a civilization long gone, yet still present through the energy of the stones. The team spread out carefully, observing and recording everything. Mara examined the walls and the floor. Len tested the air currents and vibrations. Tala touched the symbols lightly, trying to interpret their meaning. Every movement revealed more secrets of the chamber. Ryan returned to the central pedestal, staring at the large jewel. He realized that this was not just a treasure hunt. This was an encounter with history, with intelligence far greater than their own. He felt humbled, yet proud. Humans had made it this far. They had survived the first step into the unknown. The guardians watched silently, their glowing eyes tracking every human movement. They were testing patience, wisdom, and courage. Ryan understood that this was more than a challenge. It was a lesson. To survive in this place, humans would need to use their minds, their hearts, and their unity. Ryan turned to the team. We have made the first step, he said quietly. Now we must be careful, but we must continue. This chamber has many secrets. We are here to learn them, not destroy them. The humans nodded. They moved deeper into the glowing chamber, following the paths revealed by the jewels. Their hearts were full of wonder, and their minds were sharp with focus. Each step brought them closer to discoveries beyond imagination. Velora 9 was no longer just a distant planet. It had become a place of life, energy, and challenge. The humans had entered the chamber as explorers. They would leave it forever changed, carrying knowledge, courage, and respect for a civilization that had mastered something humans were only beginning to understand. The adventure had only begun, and the pulse of the blood-red jewels echoed in their hearts, guiding them deeper into the mysteries of Velora 9. The deeper the team went into the chamber, the brighter the red jewels glowed. Their soft pulses filled the air with a quiet hum, as if the stones were alive. Commander Ryan led the group carefully, making sure no one moved too quickly. The floor beneath them was smooth and cold, unlike the rough stone outside. It felt as if they had stepped into another world. Mara examined the walls closely. She traced the glowing patterns with her fingers, marveling at their design. These symbols are more than decoration, she said. They are part of some machine. The walls are alive with energy. Len shook his head, his scanner beeping loudly. I don't understand it, he admitted. There is so much energy here. I have never seen anything like it. It is unlike any technology humans have ever created. Talo moved slowly along the walls, trying to interpret the symbols. These patterns tell a story of creation and protection, she said softly. The civilization that made this chamber wanted to keep something safe, but also to teach. The jewels are part of that lesson. Ryan stopped and looked at the central jewel on the pedestal. Its glow seemed stronger than before, almost as if it were aware of their presence. He felt a strange connection, like a quiet voice speaking to him in thoughts instead of words. Suddenly, the jewel on the pedestal shone brighter, and a beam of red light shot toward the ceiling. The walls trembled slightly, and a holographic image appeared. The image showed figures similar to the Guardians, but in action. They were moving through the chamber, touching the jewels, and controlling beams of energy. Ryan stepped closer. "This is incredible," he whispered. "It shows how the jewels were used." The hologram shifted. It now displayed a map of the chamber and the surrounding tunnels. Paths opened that had not been visible before. The humans realized the chamber was not just a single room but part of a larger network. Mara examined the projection. "These tunnels must lead to the core of the planet," she said. "If the jewels are energy sources, then the chamber could be a power center. We need to be careful. Disturbing it could be dangerous." Len nodded. "Yes. But we also have an opportunity to learn. Humans can understand this. We can figure it out if we pay attention and work together." The team decided to proceed cautiously, following the paths revealed by the hologram. The walls of the tunnels were lined with more jewels, each glowing and pulsing in rhythm with the others. The energy in the air was strong, but instead of feeling threatening, it seemed to respond to their emotions. When they moved with confidence, the pulse of the jewels became steady and smooth. When they hesitated, it flickered like a heartbeat that was afraid. Tala paused and placed her hand on one of the jewels. "It reacts to us," she said. "I think the chamber is alive in a way. It can sense intention. If we are careful and respectful, it may help us." As they moved deeper, the temperature changed. The air became cooler, and the hum of the jewels became a low, rhythmic sound. It was almost like music, guiding their steps. The humans realized that the chamber was testing them, preparing them for something greater. Suddenly, the ground shook. A section of the wall slid open, revealing a hidden room. Inside were rows of smaller jewels, arranged in patterns that formed a complex circuit. Len knelt down and scanned them. "These are like batteries," he said. "They store energy, but in a way I cannot fully understand. The design is beyond anything humans have built." Mara studied the arrangement. "It is precise. Every jewel has a purpose. If one is removed or moved incorrectly, it could disrupt the whole system. This is why the Guardians protect it." Ryan looked around, noticing how the chamber seemed to respond to their actions. When the humans moved carefully and worked together, the jewel's light grew steady. When someone stepped too quickly or touched a jewel without thought, it flickered and dimmed. A low rumble echoed through the tunnels. The humans stopped in their tracks. The Guardians appeared at the far end of the room, their glowing eyes watching silently. One of them stepped forward. "You have awakened the chamber," it said. "It senses your presence. If you wish to continue, you must understand the energy, not just touch it." Ryan nodded. "We want to understand. Teach us, and we will follow your guidance." The Guardian extended a hand, and a small jewel floated toward Ryan. Its red glow was brighter than any other. When he touched it, visions filled his mind. He saw the planet Velora 9 as it once was, green and full of life. He saw the civilization that created the chamber, their homes, their work, and the way they used the jewels to keep their world safe. The vision shifted to danger. Ryan saw what could happen if the jewels were used incorrectly. Energy could explode, tunnels could collapse, and the planet could be destroyed. He understood why the Guardians were so protective. When the vision ended, Ryan withdrew his hand. He looked at his team. "These jewels are not just treasure," he said. "They are part of the planet. They are alive in a way. We have to treat them with respect. If we make a mistake, we could destroy everything." Mara nodded. "We can do this. Humans are careful and clever. We can learn how to use the jewels without harming the chamber." Len smiled. "This is a challenge, but it is what humans do best. We adapt, we study, and we succeed." The chamber may be ancient, but we can understand it. Tala touched one of the wall jewels lightly. It feels like it trusts us a little, she said. If we continue with care, it may guide us. Ryan led the team further into the tunnels. The light from the jewels brightened their path, and the hum of energy became steady, almost comforting. Each step made them feel more connected to the planet. They were not intruders here. They were learners, explorers, and guardians in training. As they moved, the humans realized that Velora 9 was not just a world of danger. It was a living classroom, testing their intelligence, courage, and teamwork. The chamber was awakening them to a new understanding of energy, life, and responsibility. The guardians followed silently, watching their progress. The humans knew they had passed the first test. They had shown respect, curiosity, and caution. The next challenges would be harder, but Ryan felt confident. Humans had faced the unknown before and survived. This was another step, another opportunity to prove their strength and wisdom. The pulse of the blood-red jewels filled the tunnels like a heartbeat. Ryan felt it in his chest. It was a reminder that the chamber was alive, and that humans were part of its story now. They had awakened something ancient, and the adventure had truly begun. The path ahead was unknown, filled with puzzles, dangers, and incredible discoveries. But the humans were ready. Together, they would explore the chamber, understand its secrets, and honor the Guardian's warning. Velora 9 was alive, and humans had just begun to awaken to its power. Ryan led the team further into the tunnels of the chamber. The walls glowed with red jewels, their soft pulses lighting the path ahead. The air was cool, filled with a low hum that seemed to encourage careful steps. Each member of the team felt the same mixture of awe and caution. They knew that the deeper they went, the greater the power surrounding them. Mara examined the walls as they moved. "The energy here is incredible," she said. "It feels alive. It responds to us. If we are careful, it will guide us. But if we make a mistake, it could be dangerous." Len adjusted his scanner. "We are entering an unknown area," he said. "There could be traps, hidden mechanisms, or even creatures we have never seen. We must stay alert." Tala studied the glowing symbols on the walls. "These patterns are changing," she said. "It is as if the chamber is reacting to our presence. I think it is testing our teamwork. We need to move together and think carefully." Suddenly, the hum of the jewels changed. The pulse became faster, more urgent. The team stopped in their tracks. From a side tunnel, a shadow moved. At first, it was only a flicker, but then more figures appeared. They were humanoid, but clearly not human. Their skin was a dark gray, their eyes glowing faintly. The intruders carried strange energy devices that pulsed with light. "They are here for the jewels," Ryan said quietly. "We are not the only ones interested in this chamber." The alien intruders moved cautiously, scanning the walls. They did not notice the humans immediately, but Ryan knew they could attack at any moment. He signaled for the team to hide behind a large crystal formation. The humans held their breath, blending into the shadows. Mara whispered, "They are strong. Their technology is advanced. We cannot fight them directly." Ryan shook his head. "We do not have to. Humans are clever. We can outsmart them. We will protect the chamber without fighting head-on." The intruders moved closer to the pedestal where the large jewel rested. The jewel pulsed brighter, and Ryan noticed a pattern in its light. It was reacting to the intruders' intentions, but not aggressively. The chamber seemed to sense that these outsiders were dangerous, yet it was not yet responding fully. Tala studied the symbols on the walls. "The chamber can be our ally," she said. "If we use the energy of the jewels wisely, we can stop them without harm." Ryan nodded. He took a deep breath and touched a small jewel on the wall. The pulse of energy flowed into him, steadying his thoughts. He guided the team to do the same, each placing a hand on a nearby jewel. The red light spread through the chamber, creating patterns of energy that moved like waves. The intruders reached the pedestal. One of them lifted the large jewel, and the chamber shuddered. Cracks appeared in the walls, and energy sparks flew across the floor. The humans could feel the danger, but they also sensed that the chamber was responding to their calm determination. Ryan moved quickly. We must focus. The chamber will protect us if we stay connected to it. Trust the jewels. The team concentrated, feeling the pulse of the energy flow through their bodies. They moved their hands in patterns that matched the symbols on the walls. The jewel's light grew stronger, forming barriers of energy between the humans and the intruders. The intruders tried to push forward, but the energy walls blocked their path. Their devices sparked and fizzled against the power of the chamber. Ryan realized that brute force alone could not overcome the humans' connection to the jewels. The intruders paused, confused and frustrated. Mara whispered, "The chamber is helping us. It senses our intentions. It wants to protect itself, and it sees that we are careful, not greedy." Len added, "This is incredible. We are using the chamber's own power to defend it. Humans can adapt to situations like this because we think and feel as one." The intruders stepped back, realizing they could not take the jewel by force. Ryan saw an opportunity. He directed the team to slowly move forward, keeping their hands on the jewels. The energy barriers shifted and blocked the intruders, guiding them back toward the tunnel from which they had come. The intruders resisted, but the chamber's energy was too strong. It moved like a living force, sensing danger and responding to intention. The humans did not fight with weapons, they fought with focus, respect, and unity. Slowly, the intruders retreated, finally disappearing into the shadows. The chamber calmed. The pulse of the jewels returned to its normal rhythm, soft and steady. The humans exhaled, their hearts pounding. They had faced a real threat and survived, not by strength alone, but by understanding and cleverness. Ryan turned to his team. "Humans are not the strongest in the galaxy," he said, "but we are resourceful. We can use our minds and our teamwork to overcome challenges. Today, we have proven that we belong here." Mara smiled. "The chamber is teaching us. We did not destroy it, we worked with it. That is why we succeeded." Tala nodded. "And we also learned that there are others who want this power. We must be careful as we go deeper." Len checked the scanners. "There is no immediate danger now, but we should move cautiously. The intruders may return." Ryan agreed. "We will stay alert, but we will continue. There is more to learn, more to understand." Humans did not come this far to turn back. As they moved deeper into the chamber, the red jewels continued to pulse, their light guiding the way. The humans felt a new sense of confidence. They understood that strength alone would not protect them, but cleverness, courage, and unity would. The intruders had shown that danger existed beyond the chamber, but the humans had learned that they could face it together. The jewels responded to their calm and focused energy, proving that intelligence and teamwork could rival any technology. Ryan looked at the walls, the glowing jewels, and the pathways revealed by the chamber. "We are only beginning," he said quietly. "The true secrets of Valora 9 are still ahead. But now we know something important. Humans can face any challenge if we work together and respect what we do not yet understand." The team nodded, feeling stronger and more determined than ever. They had faced a threat that could have destroyed them, but they survived because they trusted each other and the chamber. The pulse of the blood-red jewels echoed in their hearts, reminding them that they were part of something greater than themselves. The tunnels stretched ahead, filled with mystery, energy, and challenges yet to come. The humans knew they had proven their courage, but the journey was far from over. Valora 9 was alive, and the chamber of blood-red jewels had awakened them to a power and responsibility they were only beginning to understand. With steady steps and focused minds, Commander Ryan and his team moved forward, ready to face whatever awaited them in the depths of the chamber. Commander Ryan led the team deeper into the glowing tunnels of the chamber. The walls were covered with the red jewels, their soft light pulsing like a heartbeat. The air was cool and filled with a quiet hum that seemed to guide the humans forward. Every step they took was careful and deliberate. Each member of the team felt a mixture of excitement and tension. They had survived the intruders, but the chamber still held unknown challenges. Mara examined the walls closely. "The energy here is stronger than before," she said. "I feel like it is testing us. Each jewel is part of a larger system. One wrong step, and it could react unpredictably." Len adjusted his scanner. "The pathways are shifting. Look at the patterns. They change as we move. The chamber is alive, and it wants to see how we respond." Tala studied the symbols on the walls. "It is like a lesson," she said softly. "The civilization that built this chamber wanted to teach courage and wisdom. We are being tested, not just for strength, but for character." The humans approached a wide platform in the tunnel. The floor was smooth and black, with faint lines forming a grid. The chamber's energy pulsed stronger here. The team realized that they had to cross the platform carefully. Each step would determine whether they could continue deeper into the chamber. Ryan stepped forward first, placing his foot on a glowing line. The floor beneath him lit up, showing a safe path. The chamber seemed to respond to his courage, and the hum of the jewels grew steadier. He motioned for the team to follow. Mara moved slowly, studying the glowing lines. "The chamber responds to our focus," she said. "If we hesitate or panic, it could punish us. We must trust ourselves and each other." Len tested a line ahead. It glowed briefly but then dimmed. "I think the path changes based on our decisions," he said. "We need to think before we step, not just follow blindly." Tala nodded. "It is testing more than our courage. It is testing our intelligence and teamwork. We must work together to move forward safely." The team began to cross the platform, stepping only when they were certain it was safe. The jewel's light pulsed in response to their confidence. They could feel the chamber guiding them, but also watching closely. The tension grew with each careful step. Suddenly, a section of the platform shifted. A trap was revealed, a grid of energy fields that could block or push them back. The humans froze for a moment, realizing they had to act quickly. Ryan took a deep breath. "We move together," he said firmly. "Trust the chamber and trust each other. One step at a time." Mara nodded and stepped carefully onto the next line. The energy fields reacted to her movement, creating a safe path. Len and Tala followed, their hearts racing. Each step required courage, focus, and trust. The chamber tested their limits, but they did not falter. As they reached the middle of the platform, a loud rumble echoed through the tunnel. Sections of the walls moved, revealing shifting laser grids and moving panels. The chamber's energy pulsed faster, as if warning them of danger. Tala studied the symbols. "The chamber is reacting to our fear," she said. "We must stay calm and deliberate. That is the only way forward." Ryan nodded. "Humans have faced danger before. We adapt. We survive. This is just another challenge." The team continued across the platform, moving in unison. The jewel's glow adjusted with each step, creating safe corridors through the shifting energy. They discovered that the chamber rewarded cooperation and punished hesitation. Each member relied on the others, watching and learning from each movement. Suddenly, a section of the floor opened, revealing a deep pit. Red light glowed from the bottom, and the hum of the jewels grew louder. The team froze. They realized that a wrong step could send them falling into the unknown. Ryan studied the pit. "We can do this," he said. "We need to use the chamber's energy to guide us. Focus on the path, not on fear." Mara held out her hand. "We go together," she said. "One step at a time, trusting each other." They began to cross, moving carefully along narrow beams illuminated by the jewel's light. The energy pulsed under their feet, steady and supportive as long as they remained focused. The humans realized that courage was not the absence of fear, but the ability to act despite it. Len moved quickly but carefully, testing each beam before stepping. Tala followed, her hands tracing the symbols on the walls to keep herself calm. The chamber seemed to sense their determination, and the red light pulsed like a heartbeat in rhythm with their own. Halfway across, a sudden tremor shook the platform. The beams shifted slightly, threatening to throw them off balance. Ryan steadied himself and called out, "Hold steady. Trust the chamber and each other." Mara and the others gripped the beams, adjusting their steps. Slowly, they made their way across, feeling the pulse of the jewels guide them. The chamber seemed satisfied with their courage and focus. As they reached the other side, the floor beneath them returned to its solid form. The jewels glowed softly, as if congratulating them. The team exhaled, relieved but exhilarated. They had passed the first true test of courage. Ryan looked at his team. "Humans are not the strongest beings," he said, "but we have something more important. We have courage, intelligence, and the ability to work together. That is why we succeed where others fail." Mara smiled. "The chamber taught us something important. It is not just about physical strength. It is about mind, heart, and teamwork." Tala added, "And about respect. We respected the chamber, and it helped us. That is the lesson we must remember." Len nodded. "Humans adapt to challenges. We face the unknown and find a way forward. This is just one step, but it shows what we are capable of." The team moved further into the tunnels, their confidence growing. The jewel's light pulsed steadily, illuminating their path. They realized that every challenge in the chamber was designed to test more than strength. It tested character, courage, and the ability to work as one. As they walked, Ryan thought about the journey ahead. There would be more tests, more dangers, and more mysteries. But he knew that humans had passed the first true trial. They had faced fear, uncertainty, and the unknown, and they had prevailed. The chamber of blood-red jewels continued to glow around them. Its pulse echoed in their hearts, a reminder that courage and focus could overcome even the most dangerous challenges. The humans had learned a powerful lesson: they were not alone, and they were capable of achieving greatness if they trusted themselves and each other. The tunnels stretched on, filled with energy, light, and the promise of discovery. Ryan and his team moved forward with steady steps, ready to face the next trial. The chamber had tested their courage, and they had succeeded. Now they were stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the adventures that awaited them in the depths of Velora 9. Commander Ryan led the team further into the depths of the chamber. The tunnels glowed with the soft pulse of the blood-red jewels. The air was cooler, and the hum of energy surrounded them like a living presence. Each step they took was careful, but the humans felt a new confidence. They had faced the first challenges, survived the intruders, and crossed the test of courage. Now, it was time to understand the chamber in a deeper way. Mara examined the walls closely. "The jewels are connected," she said. "Not just to each other, but to the chamber itself. I can feel the energy flowing like a river. It is alive in a way we can sense." Len adjusted his scanner. "It is not just energy," he said. "It responds to our emotions and intentions. The chamber is teaching us, guiding us. If we stay focused and calm, it will help us. If we panic or act selfishly, it resists." Tala traced the symbols on the walls with her fingers. "It is like a conversation," she said softly. "The chamber speaks through the jewels, and we respond with our actions. We have to listen carefully and learn its language." Ryan looked at the large jewel on the pedestal ahead. Its glow was steady, inviting, but not overwhelming. We have learned to survive the tests, he said. Now we must learn to work with the chamber, not just against its challenges. We need to form a bond with it, understand it, and respect it fully. The humans approached the pedestal. Each placed a hand on a jewel along the walls. The chamber pulsed in response, spreading waves of energy that moved like water. The humans felt warmth and connection. It was as if the chamber recognized their courage, intelligence, and teamwork. Suddenly, a holographic image appeared in the center of the room. It showed the planet Valora 9 long ago, full of life. Trees, rivers, and creatures moved across the land. The civilization that had built the chamber was shown working in harmony with the jewels. They were not using the energy for power or war. They were protecting the planet, using the jewels to maintain balance and life. Mara whispered, "This is incredible. The jewels are not just energy sources. They are the heart of Valora 9. The planet itself depends on them." Ryan nodded. "This is why the Guardians protect it? The jewels are connected to the planet's life. If we misuse them, we could destroy everything." Tala studied the projection. "We need to form a bond, not just touch the jewels. We must understand their rhythm, feel their pulse, and work in harmony. That is how we can continue safely." Len smiled. "Humans are good at this. We learn, adapt, and connect. We can bond with the chamber and respect it. That is how we survive here." The humans began to move together in a pattern guided by the chamber's energy. They followed the flow of the pulse, stepping carefully on glowing lines, touching jewels in a rhythm that matched the vibrations in the air. Each pulse they synchronized with made the chamber respond more strongly. The walls glowed brighter, the hum grew steadier, and the tunnel seemed to open further ahead. Ryan felt the connection deeply. It was more than energy, it was understanding. The chamber was alive, aware, and now it recognized the humans as allies, not intruders. He realized that the bond was mutual. Just as they respected the chamber, it guided and protected them. Mara looked at him with wide eyes. "I can feel it too. The chamber is like a living being. It trusts us, and we trust it. This is a powerful moment. We are part of something greater than ourselves." Tala nodded. "We have to keep this bond. It is not permanent unless we remain careful, respectful, and focused. The chamber tests us continuously. We must continue to prove ourselves." As they moved deeper, the tunnels opened into a large dome. The walls and ceiling were covered with thousands of glowing jewels. The chamber pulsed like a living heartbeat, filling the air with energy that seemed to lift their spirits. The humans felt a deep sense of unity, not only with each other but with the chamber itself. Ryan placed his hand on the central jewel. He felt a surge of understanding. He could sense the flow of energy through the tunnels, the connection of every jewel to the planet, and the responsibility humans now carried. He realized that they were not just explorers. They were guardians, chosen by the chamber itself. Mara stepped closer and touched a jewel. The pulse responded to her fear and courage. She felt the chamber guiding her, teaching her patience, and showing her the right path. "This is amazing," she said softly. "The chamber is helping us learn, not just testing us. It is teaching us to work together and respect life itself." Len studied the flow of energy. "If we understand the rhythm, we can protect the chamber and maybe even use its energy safely. But we have to remain careful. One mistake could be disastrous." Tala moved along the walls, her fingers tracing symbols that pulsed in response to her touch. "It is teaching us a new way of thinking. Not just using power, but respecting it. Humans can do this. We can learn from the chamber and become guardians ourselves." The team continued to move in harmony with the chamber. They followed patterns of energy, touched jewels in rhythm, and communicated silently through gestures and glances. The bond grew stronger with every step. The chamber's pulse became a guide, showing them the safest paths and revealing hidden chambers filled with energy and knowledge. Ryan felt a deep sense of pride. Humans had survived challenges, faced threats, and now formed a bond with one of the most powerful places in the galaxy. The chamber had accepted them because they had shown courage, intelligence, teamwork, and respect. Mara smiled. We are learning more than we imagined. The chamber is alive, and we are part of its story now. We can protect it and learn from it. Tala nodded. And we must remember that this bond is fragile. We have been accepted, but the chamber will continue to test us. We must remain worthy. Len looked around at the glowing walls. This is a moment that humans will never forget. We are not just explorers. We are allies of the chamber. We have proven ourselves capable of understanding and respecting something greater than ourselves. Ryan took a deep breath. The bond is strong. The chamber trusts us, and we trust it. That is why we can continue. There will be more challenges ahead, but we are ready. Humans have the courage, intelligence, and heart to face them. The team moved forward, guided by the pulse of the jewels. The chamber seemed to recognize their unity and determination. Every step they took strengthened the bond. They realized that the jewels were not just tools or energy sources. They were part of the planet, alive and aware, and now humans had a connection with them that could change the future. The tunnels stretched ahead, filled with light, energy, and promise. Ryan and his team knew that the bond they had formed was the key to survival and understanding. They had learned to respect the chamber, to work with it, and to trust in themselves and each other. The chamber of blood-red jewels had become more than a place of mystery. It had become a teacher, a guide, and a friend. As they moved deeper into the heart of Velora 9, the pulse of the jewels echoed in their minds and hearts. Humans were no longer just visitors. They were part of the chamber's story, connected in a bond that would shape their journey and the future of the planet itself. Commander Ryan and his team had moved deep into the heart of the chamber. The red jewels glowed brighter than ever, pulsing with energy that flowed like a river through the walls, ceiling, and floor. The bond they had formed with the chamber had strengthened their courage and focus. They knew the chamber was alive, watching, and ready to help them. But the humans also knew that the danger outside was not gone. The intruders who had tried to steal the jewels before were still on Velora 9. Ryan felt the energy in the chamber shift as if it was alerting him to their presence. They are coming back, he said quietly. We need to prepare. Mara examined the walls and the glowing lines on the floor. The chamber responds to us, she said. It knows what is happening. If we work together, we can use its energy to protect ourselves without fighting directly. Len adjusted his scanner and nodded. Humans are clever. We can outsmart them. We have already used the chamber's power to survive. Now we can use it to protect it. Tala studied the symbols that line the walls. The chamber has shown us the way, she said. We just need to follow the rhythm of the jewels and stay connected. It will guide us to victory if we remain calm and focused. The team moved into a large central hall where the largest jewels were embedded in the walls and ceiling. Their energy pulsed strongly, creating waves that seemed to move with thought and intention. Ryan placed his hand on the central jewel. He could feel the flow of energy, like a river connecting him to the others and to the chamber itself. Suddenly, the intruders appeared at the far end of the hall. Their eyes glowed with determination, and their energy devices pulsed in sync with their movements. They moved quickly, aiming to reach the central pedestal and seize the largest jewel. Ryan held up his hand. We do not fight with weapons, he said. We fight with focus, courage, and unity. Trust the chamber. Mara and the others touched the jewels along the walls, spreading their connection. The chamber responded immediately. Energy waves formed barriers in front of the intruders, slowing them down and guiding them back. The humans moved in rhythm with the pulse, adjusting their steps and hands to maintain the connection. The intruders tried to push forward, but the energy waves blocked them at every step. Their devices sparked and fizzled against the flowing power of the chamber. The humans did not strike them or use weapons. Instead, they worked with the jewels, allowing the chamber to protect itself. Ryan directed the team to shift their focus. "Use the rhythm of the pulse," he said. "Guide the energy to block their path and push them back safely. We do not want to hurt them, just to stop them from taking the jewels." The intruders struggled, but the energy walls formed by the chamber were stronger than anything they had expected. The humans moved as one, their courage and focus giving the chamber strength. They realized that the jewels did not respond to fear, aggression, or anger. They responded to calmness, intelligence, and respect. Mara moved forward, touching a jewel near the ceiling. A wave of light shot across the hall, forming a barrier that guided the intruders back toward the exit. Len activated another line of jewels along the floor, creating a moving shield that blocked their devices. Tala touched a set of symbols on the wall, and the energy shifted in a pattern that forced the intruders to retreat step by step. The intruders hesitated, realizing that they could not overpower the humans or the chamber. Their devices sparked again, and they took cautious steps backward. The humans held their positions, keeping their connection to the jewels and moving with perfect coordination. Ryan felt the chamber's energy flow through him. It was as if the planet itself was alive, working with them to defend its treasures. He smiled. "Humans are not the strongest in force, but we are the strongest in courage, intelligence, and unity. That is why we win." The intruders finally retreated, realizing they could not take the jewels without destroying themselves. The chamber's energy formed a protective barrier that they could not pass. Slowly, they disappeared into the tunnels from which they had come, defeated not by weapons, but by human wisdom and teamwork. Mara exhaled, her face lighting up with relief. "We did it. The chamber is safe. We protected it without harming anyone." Tala nodded. "And we learned something important. Humans can face challenges that seem impossible if we stay united and focused. We have proven ourselves to the chamber." Len smiled and looked at the glowing walls. "The intruders will not come back easily. They have learned that humans are not easy to trick or overpower. We used our minds and hearts, not just strength. That is what makes us different." Ryan placed his hand on the central jewel again. The pulse of energy was steady and warm. He could feel the life of Velora 9 flowing through it, as if the planet was thanking them for their courage and respect. "We are part of this chamber now," he said quietly. "We have formed a bond with it. It trusts us, and we will honor that trust." The humans walked through the central hall, touching the jewels and feeling the connection grow stronger. The energy seemed to flow into them, giving them a sense of unity and purpose. They understood that the jewels were not just objects of power. They were part of a living system, connected to the planet, the chamber, and now to the humans themselves. Mara looked at Ryan. "This is incredible. We came to explore, but we have learned to protect and understand. We are part of something greater." Tala added, "And we have shown that humans can be wise and courageous. We did not fight recklessly. We used our minds, hearts, and teamwork. That is why we succeeded." Len nodded. "The chamber has accepted us. It recognizes our abilities, our courage, and our respect. That is the greatest victory." Ryan smiled at his team. "We came seeking discovery, and we found something much greater. We found a connection to a living world, a bond with a power that can guide us and teach us. Humans are not just explorers. We are guardians now." The team moved through the hall, feeling the pulse of the jewels in their hearts. The intruders were gone, the chamber was safe, and the humans had proven themselves. They realized that the true victory was not in defeating others, but in understanding, respecting, and working with the chamber. The glowing red jewels lit their path as they prepared to explore even deeper sections of the chamber. They knew more challenges awaited, but they also knew they had the courage, intelligence, and unity to face them. The pulse of the chamber echoed in their minds, a steady heartbeat that reminded them of their victory and their responsibility. Humans had faced danger, uncertainty, and a powerful threat, and they had prevailed. The chamber had chosen them as allies, recognizing their strength, wisdom, and respect. Ryan looked at the team. This victory belongs to all of us. Humans have proven that we can face the unknown, protect what is precious, and rise to challenges that others cannot. Velora 9 has accepted us. We are part of its story now. The team nodded, feeling proud and united. They had achieved something greater than a simple mission. They had formed a bond with the chamber, protected its treasures, and proven the power of human courage, intelligence, and teamwork. As they moved deeper into the glowing tunnels, the pulse of the jewels guided them. The humans knew that more discoveries and challenges awaited, but they were ready. The chamber had tested them, accepted them, and now stood as a testament to what humans could achieve when they worked together and respected the unknown. The victory was not just against the intruders. It was a victory of wisdom, courage, and unity. The humans had shown that they could face the most dangerous challenges and emerge stronger, wiser, and more connected to the wonders of Velora 9. Commander Ryan led his team through the final tunnels of the chamber. The soft pulse of the blood-red jewels filled the air with warmth and energy. Every step they took was calm and deliberate. The humans had survived the intruders, passed the tests of courage, and formed a deep bond with the chamber. Now, they were ready to complete their journey and understand the full power and wisdom of Velora 9. Mara paused to examine the walls. "The energy here is incredible," she said. "It feels like the heartbeat of the planet. We have learned so much, but I feel like the chamber still has more to teach us." Len adjusted his scanner. "The flow of energy is steady and strong. The intruders are gone, and the chamber seems calm. It trusts us now. We need to pay attention to everything, so we do not miss any lesson." Tala moved her fingers along the glowing symbols. "The chamber has guided us to this point," she said. "We have learned respect, courage, focus, and teamwork. But now, I think it wants us to see why these jewels exist. They are more than energy. They are life, memory, and history." Ryan nodded. "We have become part of the chamber, but we must also understand its purpose. We are here not to take, but to learn, protect, and carry its story beyond Velora 9. The team entered a large central dome. It was the largest chamber they had seen, and the red jewels covered the walls, ceiling, and floor like a living network. The pulse of energy here was steady, strong, and welcoming. The humans felt as if they were standing inside the heart of Velora 9 itself. Mara gasped. "It is beautiful. The jewels are everywhere, but they are not just decoration. They are connected, alive, and working together. This is the center of the planet's power." Ryan approached the central pedestal. The largest jewel rested there, glowing steadily. He placed his hand on it and felt a rush of understanding. The chamber was showing him visions of the past. He saw the civilization that had built it, their lives, their work, and the care they took to maintain balance on the planet. They had created the jewels not for personal gain, but to protect Velora 9 and its life. Tala studied the symbols that glowed on the walls. "The chamber shows us the history and wisdom of the people who built it. They wanted to leave a legacy. Now it is our turn to continue that legacy, not to harm it, but to learn and protect it." Len looked at the flowing energy around them. "Humans have a choice. We can take what we want, or we can respect and learn. We have proven that we can be responsible. That is why the chamber accepted us." Ryan smiled. "This is the final lesson. The jewels are powerful, yes, but the true power is wisdom, respect, and courage. The intruders wanted to take the jewels for themselves. We have learned that power is not just in energy, but in understanding how to use it wisely. The chamber pulsed gently, and a pathway opened. It led to an exit tunnel, a path back to the surface of Velora 9. The team realized that the chamber had not only tested them, but had also prepared a way for them to leave safely. The bond they had formed allowed the chamber to guide them, just as they had guided it with respect and focus. Mara looked back at the central dome. "I will never forget this place," she said. "The chamber has changed us. We came to explore, but we leave with knowledge, courage, and a responsibility to protect life." Tala nodded. "The chamber is alive, and now part of our story. We will carry its lessons with us, and humans will remember what we learned here." Len smiled. "Humans have faced danger, uncertainty, and powerful forces. But we survived because we trusted each other, used our minds, and respected the unknown. That is a lesson we will carry forever." Ryan led the team through the glowing tunnel toward the surface. The chamber's pulse echoed in their hearts, steady and reassuring. They felt a deep connection to the jewels, to the planet, and to each other. They had become part of something larger than themselves, a living story of courage, respect, and unity. As they emerged onto the surface of Velora 9, the red sun was setting behind the jagged mountains. The sky glowed orange and crimson, reflecting on the rivers of silver that ran through the valleys. The humans paused to look back at the entrance to the chamber. It was hidden, protected, and alive. They had seen wonders that few humans would ever witness. Mara spoke softly. "We leave the chamber, but its lessons will remain with us. We will share this knowledge carefully, so others understand that Velora 9 is not just a planet to explore, but a living world to respect." Tala added, "We are now part of its legacy. The chamber accepted us because we showed courage, wisdom, and teamwork. That is what makes humans capable of understanding the unknown." Len looked at the glowing horizon. "The intruders will never know what they missed. Humans used intelligence and heart to protect the chamber. That is more powerful than any weapon." Ryan turned to his team. "We have completed the mission. We came seeking discovery, and we found understanding. We faced danger, passed tests of courage, and formed a bond with a living world. We leave Velora 9 not with jewels or treasure, but with knowledge, respect, and responsibility." The humans began to walk toward their transport vehicle, their steps steady and filled with purpose. The pulse of the jewels in their hearts reminded them of the chamber, its energy, and the bond they had formed. They knew they would never forget this place. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the team reflected on their journey. They had faced fear, uncertainty, and challenges that tested their courage. They had survived because they worked together, respected the chamber, and trusted their intelligence. Velora 9 had accepted them, and they had proven that humans could rise to challenges greater than themselves. Mara looked at the sky. "This planet, the chamber, the jewels, they are alive. They teach us that life, energy, and wisdom are connected. We must honor that lesson always." Tala nodded. "Humans have learned that power is not just strength. True power comes from understanding, respect, and working together. That is the legacy we take with us." Len smiled. "We have faced intruders, tests, and the unknown. We have emerged stronger, wiser, and united. That is our victory, and it is greater than anything we could have imagined." Ryan placed his hand over his heart. "The Chamber of Blood-Red Jewels has chosen us as allies, not because we are the strongest, but because we are worthy. We leave Velora 9 with its lessons, its trust, and its bond. That is the greatest treasure we could ever carry." The humans boarded their vehicle, taking one last look at the glowing mountains and silver rivers. Velora 9 would remain protected, its chamber alive and pulsing with energy. The bond they had formed would guide them in the future, reminding them that courage, wisdom, and unity were the greatest powers in the galaxy. As the transport lifted off, the red sun bathed the planet in warm light. The pulse of the jewels echoed in their minds, steady and eternal. Humans had discovered something far greater than treasure. They had discovered understanding, respect, and the legacy of a living world. Commander Ryan and his team knew that their journey on Velora 9 had changed them forever. They had faced challenges, protected life, and formed a bond with a world older and wiser than themselves. They carried with them a story of courage, unity, and respect, a story that would inspire future generations of humans to explore, learn, and protect the wonders of the universe. The chamber of blood-red jewels would continue to glow, alive and powerful, and humans would carry its legacy in their hearts forever.